Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Blitz, your weekly high school football show covering all things football in Lorain County, brought to you by First Federal Savings of Lorain. I'm Marissa McNeese with the Chronicle Telegram, back as always with my partner behind the camera, Kristen Bauer, and we are here at Elyria Catholic to recap a jam-packed first week of the Ohio high school football playoffs. This season, of course, a little bit different. All teams had the option to either opt in or forego their spot in the postseason and play some regular season games if they wanted. All of our Lorain County teams decided to opt in and continue on in the playoffs, but not all of our teams made it out. Only a couple teams advanced from this first week to continue on into week 2. So let's get to it. If you watched last week's show, you know we previewed this team, this game, heading into last week. We were out at Columbia looking at the Raiders game against Black River, and sure enough, the Raiders coming up big, 47-7 over Black River. It's a huge win for Columbia, not just for them to advance in the postseason, but it snaps a 6-game postseason losing streak for the Raiders, and it's just their second playoff win in 10 tries. And it all started right away with special teams. Freshman Marco Sargliano, a 92-yard touchdown return. He takes the opening kickback, and the Raiders really never looked back. Joe Governale, again, leads Columbia. He had 15 carries for 127 yards, 3 touchdowns. And in what has become my absolute favorite thing to do on the Blitz, we have to shout out the girls of the game. Columbia's Rachel Washburn comes in the fourth quarter, kicks 2 extra points, and becomes the first girl in program history to score for the Raiders. It's a great accomplishment for Rachel, for Columbia, becoming the first girl, again, in program history to score. And now Columbia, as the 13th seed, will continue on in the postseason, taking on number 4 Mogador in what is a rematch of a 2018 game I actually covered. The Raiders lost 35-0 in that game, but have a ton of momentum heading in. And in this postseason, it's been a weird enough season as it is. So anything can happen. So we'll be looking for number 13 Columbia to take on number 4 Mogador this Saturday. Our only other Lorain County team to advance this past week is another Lorain County League team, Firelands, taking on Upper Sandusky, coming up big, 59-20. And it's the Falcons' first ever playoff victory in 3 tries. And this team got back to playing that kind of defense we all thought they could play this season. We saw flashes of. There were fumble recoveries, an interception, even a safety, and that fast defense really helped propel the offense. Donald Crawford leading the way for Firelands, rushing for 148 yards, 3 touchdowns. And really, this win for the Falcons, again, it shows not just how the defense we thought could play all season, what this team can do. They had a slip up against Keystone, but they really seem to have picked it back up again, have a lot of momentum heading into week 2 of the postseason. They're the number 10 seed in their region, and they will take on number 7 Napoleon this Saturday in the second round of the postseason. Now, like we said before, all of our Lorain County teams took the choice to opt in and continue on in the postseason, but unfortunately this week, Columbia and Firelands were the only 2 teams to advance. So let's recap the rest of the scores from around the county. Euclid taking on Elyria in back-to-back games, and Elyria falls 21-0, ending their postseason run. Toledo St. Francis beating North Ridgeville 38-0. North Olmsted over Midview in a really tight game, 48-45. Bryan beating Clearview 42-12. We have Brookfield 55-27 over Oberlin. Ontario 62-0 over Vermilion. And in a really tough heartbreaker, North Royalton 48-45 in 3 overtimes, beating Amherst and ending the Comets' postseason run. All right, it's that time again. Time for our First Federal Savings of Lorain. Team of the week, of course, with only 2 teams winning, there were really only 2 choices. Either team is a worthy option. But this week, we had to go with the Firelands Falcons picking up their first playoff win in program history. Could not have come at a better time. The Falcons playing great football as they continue on in the postseason. That defense really back to where we all saw it was at the beginning of the season and really starting to propel that offense like we saw. So again, this week's First Federal Savings of Lorain Team of the Week goes to Firelands. All right, as we advance to week 2 of the postseason, we have 6 teams left continuing on in the playoffs. So let's look ahead and see what we got going this week. We have number 3, Avon Lake, hosting number 14, Wadsworth, in that same region. Again, the Eagles and Avon Lake, depending on how things shake out, could meet again at some point in the playoffs. They tend to do that as the postseason goes on. On Saturday, we have Columbia at Mogador, Firelands at Napoleon, as we said, and our other 2 games are 2 teams who had bye weeks in week 1. We have Oak Harbor right here at Elyria Catholic and Edison taking on Keystone. Now, for those of you looking to tune in to a weekend full of high school football action, we've got you covered over at WEOL with games on both Friday and Saturday. Friday on the radio on WEOL and WEOL.com Stream 1, you can find Wadsworth at Avon Lake. Over on Stream 2, we have Medina taking on St. Edward, and on Stream 3, WEOL.com, we have West Holmes at Cloverleaf. Of course, those games are on Friday. On Saturday, on the radio, you can hear Oak Harbor at Elyria Catholic, and on WEOL.com Stream 2, we'll have Edison at Keystone. That'll do it for our first playoff edition of the Blitz. Of course, as our teams keep advancing, we will bring you all the coverage from the Ohio High School Football Playoffs. For my partner, Kristen Bauer, for myself, Marissa McNeese, everyone at WEOL and the Chronicle Telegram, this has been The Blitz, and we'll see you next week.